Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Devi, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः Welcome, dear devotees, to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let's recite. And Sri Radha Shravani Mataji, welcome back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada. You came from India and I'm going to...
Mataji's birthday got over 2 days back, Mataji. We can wish.
Oh, really? Hare Krishna.
And she was on her appearance day. She was in Mayapur, Mataji.
Oh no, Mataji, please don't use appearance day. Yeah, very near fight.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we are back from Mayapur on Wednesday, Mataji.
Acha, you're still in India.
Yes, Mataji.
Acha, acha. Okay. You're feeling better? Your health?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, yes, Mataji. Yeah.
I was actually in a dilemma what to answer because there are two ways it can be answered, when you're sick. Because my children said, if I would just go and take bath in Ganga, and my experience is when I take bath in Ganga, then even if I have some diseases, they go away. So when someone has that type of faith, you should just do it. But
Yes,
if
yes,
somebody
Mataji.
does not have that faith and you just tell them to do it and they fall sick or something, then they'll say, what is this? Therefore, I was not sure. Excuse me for that.
Yes, I offered. We went on a boat ride, Mataji, on Ganga, and we did Ganga Puja and sprinkled water, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you, Mataji.
Sure. Okay, so let's recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. 1 second. Why is this page coming like this? Acha, I have to make it bigger. I know. I'm doing. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10. Text 2. So, anyone needs to go first? So we'll go in order. Achyut Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavatam, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Bhagavad.
Dandat Pranam Mataji. Yes, Prabhupada.
Name Suradana, Prabhavam Namaha Shaya, Aham Devi Devana, Mahakshila Jasa Vashabam. Translation. Neither the words of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Thank you, Mataji. Achintadev Prabhu. You're not ready?
Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat, Prabhuji. Name viduhu suragana
Name viduh shuraganaha.
prabhavam nama harshayah
Prabhavam nama harshaya.
aham adirhi devanam
Aham adirhi devanam.
maharshinam cha sarvashah.
Maharshinam sachar vasha. Translation. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of demigods and sages. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Name Vidu Suragana Prabhavana Maheshwara It Aham Yadiri Devana Maharshana Jasavasaha. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence. For in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Name vidu suragana prabhavam nam mahashaya aham adirhi devanam mahashinam cha sarvashaha. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, Inbainia is not here. Krishna, Ashish, Madhava, Rasapriya. Anyone is here? Okay, come.
Vidu Suragana Prabhavam Namaha Aham adirhi devanam maharshinam sasavasa. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect
I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Isha.
Name vidu surakana prabhavam na maharshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Okay. Krishna, Shish and Madhava are here. Okay. So next is Kalpesh Prabhu and Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Name vidu suraguna
Gana.
prabhavam na maharashaya aham adirhi devanam maharishinam cha sarvasha. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of demigods and sages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All
Dandavat
glories
Pranam.
to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada Mataji. Yes.
Name viduhu suragana prabhavam na maharshaya aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Translation: Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Lokesh.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshaya aham adirhi devam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Neither the host of the demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, Prabhuji are there.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharsaya adirhi devana maharsinam cha sarvasava. Neither the host of the demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Thank you, Mataji. Prabhu is not available.
Okay. Medha and Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada, all praise to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharsayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasah. Translation: Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Thank you, Mataji.
Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Name vidu suragana prabhavam na maharshaya aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Priyanka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam na maharshaya aham adirhi devana maharishinam cha sarvashah. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, next, Suvarnangi Mataji. Actually, Sri Radhe Shravani Mataji.
Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam na maharshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Yeah, thank you. Suvarnangi Shyama Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandas Pranam, Sarva Srila Prabhupada.
Dandat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
न मे विदुः सुरगणा प्रभवं नाम हर्षया अहमादिर्हि देवानां महर्षिणां च सर्वशः. Translation: Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of demigods and sages.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna
Suraj is
Mataji.
there. Yeah, go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Namavidu Suragana Prabhavam Maharshaya Aham Adirhi Devanam Maharshinam Cha Sarvashaha. Translation: Neither the host of the demigods nor the great sages, not my original, nor my original opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Not
Hare
there.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Namavidu Suragana Prabhavam Namaharshana Aham Adarhi Devanam Maharsinam Cha Sarvashaha. Translation: Neither the hosts of the demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji is there? No. Okay.
No, Mataji.
Okay. Anyone else? Did everyone recite? Okay. Bhagavad Gita 10:2. Name viduhu suraganaha prabhavam nama harshayah aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. So about this verse, so far we discussed that Krishna is saying the demigods cannot know him, the great sages cannot know him. Know him in what way? So we discussed that the demigods, they recognize he is the Supreme Lord, but they cannot understand his Achintya Shakti, that he is, how he's taking birth. He's taking birth from Devaki and Vasudev. But how is his birth? We discussed that yesterday. That they cannot understand. They cannot understand. Sometimes people accept that he is the supreme Parabrahman, and when he takes birth, they think that this birth is just material. Like now he's accepting a human form, right? So like my body, your body, he accepts a human form, but he is the supreme Lord. Inside, right? Inside he is the supreme Lord, but this body is not eternal. He is eternal, but this body is not eternal. That's one wrong conception. And other people will think that this body, this is Krishna. Okay, this body is Krishna. So when this body is finished, then it's over. There's nothing like a spiritual world and he's there even now. That they don't accept. And also Krishna Leela is Nitya Leela. That means his taking birth, not only he took birth from Devaki and Vasudev, but at every moment he's taking birth. Nitya Leela means constantly it is happening at every moment, not just his birth, but each and every Leela is happening at every moment. All his Leelas are happening at every moment. Somewhere or the other, they're happening continuously. This is Nitya Leela. So this is Krishna's Achintya Shakti. And at the same time, Krishna, so for example, taking his birth, he takes birth, but he doesn't take birth because Krishna says, Ajopi san navyayatma, Ajaha, I don't have any birth. Right? Advaitam Achyutam Anadim. He has no Adi. So how he'll have a birth? Like this. So then how we can understand him? Can the great personalities in this world understand? No. So about the demigods we discussed, that the demigods cannot understand him? They don't know about him. All they know is he's there, he's protector. When he comes, they become satisfied. So now somebody may question, yeah, the demigods cannot understand because they're Vishayi. Vishayi means sense gratifiers. They are interested in sense pleasures. So somebody who is completely absorbed in sense pleasures, how he can understand you? It's not possible. So the demigods cannot understand. That's acceptable. But why you're saying the great sages cannot understand you? The great sages are not Vishayis. They are tapasvis. They do severe tapasya. They study the Vedas. Certainly they will be able to understand you. Why you're saying the great sages cannot understand? So there, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, or Krishna is saying, no, even the great sages cannot understand me. Why? Because the qualification to know me is not tapasya, is not studying the Vedas. It's not, your different types of, give basically what the sages do, doing severe penance and studying the Vedas. That's not sufficient. That's not the way. You cannot know me by these things. Therefore, even though they are not Vishayis, even though they are not after sense gratification, but those things can simply bring you to the point of goodness, but they cannot reveal Bhagavan to you. Then how I can know Bhagavan? You can know Bhagavan only when he reveals it to you. When he shows his mercy to you, then only you can know. That is the point. And the very first day we discussed, Aham Adirhi Devanam. I am an Maharshinam cha Sarvashaha. Of all the demigods and all the great sages up to Lord Brahma, you may think Lord Brahma is the first person in this universe. He knows everything. He is the Adi Deva. You may think, isn't it? In this universe, the first person who came is Brahmaji, and he's there even today. So he knows everything that is going on. So he must know the Lord also. No, even that Brahma has come from me. How? Brahmaji came from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu came from Karanodakashayi Vishnu. And Karanodakashayi Vishnu came from Mahasankarshan. Mahasankarshan came from, like that, right? Narayan, then Sankarshan, Baladev, Krishna. So I am the source of everyone. So therefore, nobody can know me. Not even the greatest demigods or the greatest sages can know me. Then how one can know me? One can know me when I show him mercy. How do I show my mercy? Through my devotees. So therefore, we take it for granted, all this knowledge that we are hearing, we accept, or at least intellectually, yes, intellectually at least we accept. Whether we have that faith and sincerity, that how do you know whether you have faith? That's another question, right? Because normal, ordinary times when you ask, you will feel, of course I have faith, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Of course, I have faith in that. So therefore, if I have faith, then I'm a pure devotee, isn't it? If I have faith, I'm a pure devotee. So whether I have faith or not will be tested in times of difficulty. In times of difficulty, great difficulty, are you taking shelter of Krishna or are you taking shelter of some other temporary thing? Where is your faith at that time? That will tell us how much faith we have. And I think we all have such experiences, like very difficult times, and then usual tendency is to go for the easily available one, right? Whatever comes quickly. So we put all faith in the doctor, or we put all faith in the medicine, or in a family member, or in our security bank balance, right? Our health insurance, life insurance, all our faith will be in that. Or is our faith completely in Krishna? It will be tested at that time, right? So, yeah. So the point is how one can know Krishna. One can know Krishna when one receives the mercy of Krishna. Krishna's mercy comes through his devotees. And through his devotees, they have left behind, they have relished whatever they are experiencing about Krishna, and whatever they have relished, they are leaving it behind for us also to relish, like remnants, right? You eat something, it's very delicious, here, you also eat, like that. So they have relished it themselves. First of all, Sukadev Goswami is speaking, And so many commentaries are written on Sukadeva Goswami's speech, Srimad Bhagavatam. So many acharyas have written. So they take each word, each letter of Sukadeva Goswami's words, and they taste it. They taste it. And after tasting, they relish it. Now they give it in the form of commentary. And now they are sharing it with the whole world, what they have tasted. And this is the way to know God. This is the way to know Krishna. Not by any material accomplishments, even up to the point of becoming Lord Brahma. Still, you cannot know. By that qualification, you won't know Bhagavan. You can know Bhagavan only when he shows his mercy, and his mercy comes through his devotees. That's why Krishna says, Aham Bhakta Paradhina. Right? I'm completely controlled by my servant. And Krishna says that Mad Bhakta Puja Bhyadika. Right? Worshipping my devotee is better than worshipping me. Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam Param. But of all types of worship of Lord Vishnu is the best. But Madbhakta Puja Bhihadika. More than Lord Vishnu's worship is worship of my devotee. Krishna values, he loves his devotees so much. And he gives us the most valuable thing through his devotees. Okay. So that's the point. So you cannot know me. Krishna says, remember the context of the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? The context is that whatever was told about the opulences of Krishna, it's talking about the opulence, right? Opulence of the absolute, right? That is the 10th chapter, or opulence of the supreme. It was already said in the 7th chapter, in the 9th chapter, opulences were spoken of. But Krishna is saying, or Arjuna is asking, not Arjuna is asking, Krishna is saying, Bhuyaha, again I will tell you those opulences. Tat Shrinu, you hear attentively now, right? You hear attentively. Why? Because Krishna is going to speak these opulences. And also he is not only speaking what he spoke already, but he is also going to speak something superior to that. He's going to repeat whatever he said, but he's also going to speak something superior. But in the 10th chapter, he's going to speak it in an indirect way. Therefore, you need special attention. He'll say something in an indirect way. What that means, the acharyas have done the work for us, right? Opening the riddle, opening the puzzle, and explaining what Krishna is trying to say. So that's it. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam now. So today is Friday. So next week we'll learn a new verse. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 2. So we are reading about the descendants of Vaivasvata Manu. I'll just go over the names of the descendants because we may forget. So first of all, Vaivasvata Manu and his wife Shraddha Deva and Shraddha. They had a daughter Ila, and then by Vashishta Muni's prayers to Lord Vishnu, that daughter was turned into King Sudyumna. King Sudyumna happened to go into the forest of Sukumara, where he turned into a woman. And then, as a woman, he married the son of the moon god called Buddha. And they had a son called Pururava. And Sudyumna was very sad that he became a woman, so he was remembering his guru. So Vashishta Dev, feeling, taking compassion on the deplorable condition of Sudyumna, he prayed to Lord Shiva to relieve Sudyumna from this womanly body. So Lord Shiva, in order to please Vashishta Muni, and at the same time to keep his word, his promise to Parvati Devi, he said, for 1 month Sudyumna will be a woman, and for 1 month he will be a male. And in this way he can rule the kingdom. So that's how Sudyumna got his manhood. He became a man again, but for 1 month. And then again, the following month, he'll be a woman. Like this, he was ruling. And then he retired. He had 3 sons. As a man, he had 3 sons. And he retired. He took Vanuprastha. After he took Vanuprastha, so he gave the kingdom to his son Pururava, and he retired. Now, Vaivasvata Manu performed tapasya for 100 years on the banks of Yamuna in order to get more sons. Now he got 10 sons. So who are the 10 sons? That's what we are reading now. The dynasties of these 10 sons, that's what we are reading. So these 10 sons are headed by Ikshvaku Maharaj. Then who all did we read after that? After Ikshvaku. We read about Prishadra. You know the story of Prishadra. So Prishadra did not have a dynasty because you remember how he was accidentally, while protecting a cow, accidentally he ended up while protecting a cow from a tiger, accidentally he killed the cow. So then he was cursed by Vashishta Muni to take birth as a Shudra in his next life. So he accepted that curse. He took a vow of brahmacharya. He performed Ashtanga Yoga, and ultimately he actually got pure devotional service. And in a forest fire, he entered into that forest fire and he gave up that body and went back to Godhead. That's what we read about Prishadra. Then again, there's another son of Vaivasvata Manu called Kavi. Even when he was young, when he was not even a fully developed youth, he decided that he didn't want to accept any material opulences, material enjoyment. So he left the kingdom, went into the forest along with his friends, and was completely absorbed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this way, he achieved his perfection. Then we read a few of the other sons of Vaivasvata Manu. So one was Karusha. Karusha became the beginning of one dynasty called Karusha dynasty. So they're all Kshatriyas. Karusha dynasty is Kshatriyas. So far we have how many? 4 sons, right? Then after that, Karusha, there is Drishta. And the descendants of Drishta are called Dharshtas. Okay, Drishta's descendants are called Dharshtas. One second. Yeah, here. This one, 17. So they were actually Kshatriyas in the beginning, but somewhere down the line, they got qualified as Brahmanas. They're known as Brahmanas. So there also we studied at length how it is possible to change from Kshatriya or Brahmana if you have those qualities. If you have you accept someone as a Brahmana or Kshatriya based on his qualities, not based on his birth. Okay, so then we saw about Ikshvaku, Prishadra, then Kavi, Drishta. So the next one is Nriga. Yes, you remember. Another son is Nriga. Nriga son is Sumati. Sumati's son is Bhuta Jyoti. Bhuta Jyoti's son is Vasu. Vasu's son is Pratika. Pratika's son is Oghavan. Oghavan's son is also Oghavan. And Oghavan had Oghavan and Oghavati. And Sudarshan married Oghavati. Like that. So 5 up to Nriga we read. Then the next son is Narishyanta. After Nriga, 6th son we read is Narishyanta. And his son is Chitrasena, and his son is Riksha, and Riksha's son is Meedvan, and Meedvan's son is Purna, Purna's son is Indrasena. Indrasena's son is Vitihotra, Vitihotra's son is Satyashrava, Satyashrava's son is Urushrava, and Urushrava's son is Devadatta. Like that we read, Narishyanta's descendants. And then Devadatta's son is Agnivesha. What did we learn about Agnivesha? Agnivesha is none other than the demigod Agni himself. So this is coming from Narishyanta, okay, in the descendants. So Agnivesha has 2 other names, Kanina and Jatu Karnya. And he is none other than the fire god Agni. From Agnivesha came one Brahminical dynasty. Okay, that Brahminical dynasty is called Agniveshyayana. Now that I have described the descendants of Narishyanta, let me describe the descendants of Dishta. So Drishta's descendants had eventually become Brahmanas. This is Dishta. So the next son, 7, Dishta. So Dishta's descendant is, his son is Nabhaga, and Nabhaga actually became as a Vaishya. His descendants became Vaishyas. And again in that line, once again they became Kshatriyas, like that. Okay, so we'll see that. So Nabhaga is the son of Dishta. So another son is Dishta. Dishta's son is Nabhaga. Nabhaga later became Vaishya. Nabhaga, okay, this Nabhaga is different from the Nabhaga which will come again in Bhagavatam later on. This is different. So this Nabhaga, son of Dishta, who is the son of Vaivasvata Manu, this Nabhaga became a Vaishya. The son of Nabhaga is Bhalandana. The son of Bhalandana is Vatsapriti, and his son is Pramshu. Pramshu's son is Pramati. Pramati's son Kanitra. Kanitra's son Chakshusha. Chakshusha's son Vivimshati. And the son of Vivimshati is Rambha. Rambha's son is King Kaninetra. Kaninetra's son is Karandhama. Karandhama's son is Avikshit. Avikshit's son is Marutta. Marutta. So another big name, Marutta. Marutta is a great emperor and he was engaged in performing a great sacrifice by the mystic sage Samvarta. Samvarta is the son of Angira. Okay, so Marutta performed a great sacrifice that we read yesterday. So Marutta is whose descendant is coming in the line of Dishta. Okay. So Dishta, it is said that his Nabhaga became a Vaishya, but again down the line once again became Kshatriyas. So that's why it is by quality. So then we have to start with text 28. Yes. And I think I wrote down yesterday who's supposed to read. Kalpesh Prabhu will begin reading today. Amadyad Indraha Somena Dakshinabhirdvijatayah Marutaha Parivishtaro Vishve Devasa Bhasadaha. Kalpesh Prabhu.
In that sacrifice, King Indra became intoxicated by drinking a large quantity of somaras. The Brahmanas received ample contributions, and therefore they were satisfied. For that sacrifice, the various demigods who control the winds offered up, and Vishvedas were member of the assembly.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sonia Mataji, purport.
Because of the yajna performed by Maruta, everyone was pleased, especially the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Brahmanas are interested in receiving contribution as priest, and Kshatriyas are interested in drinking. All of them, therefore, were satisfied with their different engagements.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So sacrifice yagya is what? It's karma. Karma. Why do people do karma? Why do people do karma? Normally, so of course, there are different groups of people who do karma, but karmis do karma because they want some result, some sense, material result. So what type of material result do Brahmanas expect? And what type of material result do Kshatriyas expect when they perform a yagya? Srila Prabhupada is saying that Brahmanas are interested in receiving contributions, right? So when they get dakshina, right? And then they want some result from that. And Kshatriyas are interested in what? When there is yagya, there is a feast and you get to drink, right? Also you get somaras, right? They're interested in drinking, enjoyment. They're interested in that. So this sacrifice which was performed by King Marutta, it was such a great sacrifice. Remember the previous verse said, no sacrifice can compare to the sacrifice performed by King Marutta. So, yeah, no other sacrifice could compare. And he used all the paraphernalia there were made of gold. And this sacrifice was actually done by Samvarta, the son of Angira. Okay. And in this sacrifice, Lord Indra became intoxicated by drinking a large quantity of somaras. in the sacrifice. So they also invite all the demigods, like the Rajasuya Yagya, when they did, all the demigods had come, isn't it? It was a big scale sacrifice, this sacrifice done by Maruta. So Lord Indra had come, and by drinking a large quantity of somaras, he became intoxicated. The Brahmanas received so many gifts, they couldn't even carry like that. Received ample contributions, and they were fully satisfied. Various demigods, for that sacrifice, the various demigods who control the winds offered foodstuffs, and the Vishwa Devas were members of the assembly. For that sacrifice, the various demigods who control the winds offered foodstuffs, and the Vishwa Devas were members of the assembly. That means who all came to attend? All the various different types of demigods, celestials, they came to participate in that, right? And the members of the assembly, the Vishwa Devas were there, and the demigods were supplying the foodstuffs and somaras. So it was a big sacrifice. That's the point. And everyone was satisfied, all the Kshatriyas, Brahmanas. Maruttasya the Mahaputras tasyasid Rajyavardhanaha Sudhritis tat suto jagye Saudhriteyo Narah Sutaha. Who is after Kalpesh Prabhu and Sonia Mataji? Medha. Actually, Lokesh, sorry.
Maruta's son was Dama, and Dama's son was Rajavardhana. Rajavardhana's son was Suti, and his
Sudhriti.
son, Suhriti, and his son was Nar.
Yes. So we are still coming down in Dishta's line. Okay. So the seventh. So there are 10 sons. This is seventh son of Vaivasvata Manu is Dishta, and these are coming one after another in the line of Dishta. So Marutta, then Marutta's son is Dama, Dama's son is Rajyavardhana, Rajyavardhana's son is Sudhriti, and his son is Nara. Also, I heard once in the class of His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj that Sukadev Goswami is mentioning all these names. If there is no purpose or if there is no value, why would he speak these names? So even simply hearing the names of all these kings is also very, very purifying. He even said that you should memorize all the names, all the descendants, like that. So yeah, just as much as we are able to, just let's just try to listen attentively as far as possible. Text 30. Tatsutah kevalastasmad dhundhuman vegavamstatah budhastasya bhavadyasya trinabindurmahipatihi. Is Mataji and Prabhuji there, Lokesh?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Translation. The son of Nara was Kevala, and his son was Dunduman, whose son was Vegavan. Vegavan's son was Buddha, and Buddha's son was Pranabindu, who became the king of this earth.
So Buddha is coming here, but is this the son of the moon? No, this is not the son of the moon. This is a different Buddha. Okay? Because we are coming down from Vaivasvata Manu. Vaivasvata Manu means this is the sun dynasty. In the sun dynasty also there is a Buddha. And moon's son is Buddha who married Sudyumna. That's different. Okay? Alright. So Vegavan's son was Buddha. And Buddha's son is Trinabindu. This Trinabindu became the king of this earth. He became the emperor, Trinabindu. Next. Tambheje Lambusha Devi Bhajaniya Gunalayam Varapsarayatah Putra Kanya Chela Vilabhavat. Prabhuji is there? Surananda Madhu Prabhu is there? No? Okay, we'll just go to the next person. He's coming?
No, Mataji.
No. Okay, Medha.
Yeah. Translation. The best of Apsaras, the highly qualified girl named Alambusha, accepted the similarly qualified Trinabindu as her husband. She gave birth to a few sons and a daughter known as
Ilavila.
Ilavila.
Okay. So this, okay, Vaivasvatmanu son Dishta, and in that line, down the line came King Trinabindu, who became the emperor of the earth. This Trinabindu married the best of the Apsaras. Apsara is a heavenly celestial. So this Trinabindu was so qualified that a heavenly damsel married him, desired to marry him. So she married him. Okay, her name is Alambusha. Oh, you know another Alambusha from Mahabharata. That was a Rakshasa. This is not that. This is a demigoddess or a Apsara. Okay, highly qualified girl named Alambusha. She accepted Trinabindu as her husband, and she had a few sons from Trinabindu. And she also had a daughter called Ilavila. Can you imagine? Apsara's daughter will also be very beautiful, like Shakuntala, right? Is the daughter of Menaka, like that. So Alambusha had a daughter called Ilavila from the king Trinabindu. Yasyam utpadayam asa Vishrava dhanadam sutam Pradaya vidyam paramam Rishir Yogeshwarah Pituh. Tomorrow. Okay. Usha Mataji is able to read?
No, Mataji, sorry, I'm driving. Mataji.
Okay, no problem. Priyanka Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, I can read.
Okay.
Yeah. After the great saint Vishrava, the master of mystic yoga, received absolute knowledge from his father, he begot in the womb of Ilavila the greatly celebrated son known as Kuvera, the giver of money.
So all of you remember who is Vishrava? Who is Vishrava? Vishrava is Ravana's father and Kuvera's father also. So Vishrava is a great sage, Muni. And he married who? He married Ilavila. Who is Ilavila? Ilavila is the daughter of a king, Trinabindu, and Apsara, Alambusha. So Vishrava, so of course he also married another lady, and that lady's son is Ravana. So that lady is actually a Rakshasi. That's why Ravana's, but here Vishrava married Ilavila and their son is called Kuvera, the giver of money. Therefore, Kuvera and Ravana are half brothers. Okay, anyway. So, after the great saint Vishrava, the master of mystic yoga, received absolute knowledge from his father, he begot in the womb of Ilavila the greatly celebrated son known as Kuvera, the giver of money. विशालः शून्यबन्धुश्च धूम्रकेतुश्च तत्सुताः विशालो वंशकृड्राजा वैशालीं निर्ममे पुरीम्. Next is after Priyanka Mataji, Shri Radhe Shravani Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Trinabindu had three sons named Visala, Sunyabandhu, and Dhumraketu. Among these three, Visala created a dynasty and constructed a palace called Vaisali.
Vaishali. Vaishali is where? Where is Vaishali? Very famous, isn't it? The name? Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue reading. I'm not able to recollect. So Trinabindu had three sons, Vishala, Shunyabandhu, and Dhumraketu. Vishala expanded, he created a dynasty. He created a dynasty means his descendants, there's a whole dynasty. And he constructed a palace called Vaishali. So Vishala is Trinabandhu's son. So Trinabindu had three sons and also a daughter. Daughter married Vishrava and they had Kuvera. And one of the sons, Vishala, he had his dynasty and his capital is called Vaishali. Hemachandra sutastasya dhumrakshastasya chatmajaha tatputra samyamadasid Vishashvaha sahadevajaha. So I think Suvarnangi Mataji, Suhrud Purti. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
The sun was going down, and his son was Yama, his son Shiva Devaja, and Krishna.
Yeah. So this Vishala, whose capital is Vaishali, he is also known as Hemachandra. Vishala is also known as Hemachandra. Hemachandra's son is Dhumraksha. Dhumraksha's son is Samyama. And Samyama's sons are Devaja and Krishashva. Okay. So we are still actually coming down in the line of Dishta. Dishta, one of the sons of Vaivasvata Manu. So, and then we got Marutta. Then in that line down we got Trinabindu. Now we are reading our Trinabindu's descendants, Vishala, then Vishala's descendants, Dhumraksha, then Samyama, then Devaja and Krishashva. Okay. Krishashvad Soma Datto Bhud Yoshvamedhair Idaspatim Ishtva Purusham Apagryam Gatim Yogeshwarashritam Saumadattistu Sumatis Tatputro Janame Jayaha Ete Vaishala Bhupalas Trinabindorya Shodharaha. Spurti or Suvarnangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The son of Krishashva was
Somadatta.
Somadatta, who performed Ashwamedha sacrifices and thus satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu by worshipping the Supreme Lord. He achieved the most exalted post, a residence on the planet, to which great mystic yogis are elevated. The son of Somadatta was
Sumati,
whose son was
Janamejaya.
All these kings appearing in the dynasty of Vishala properly maintained the celebrated position of King
Trinabindu. Purport. Thus and the
Bhakti Vedanta purports of the 9th canto, 2nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam,
entitled
The Dynasties of the Sons of Manu.
Yes. So this is the dynasties of the sons of Manu. Which Manu are we talking about? Vaivasvata Manu. So all the descendants, right, coming from King Vishala, they were all very great kings, very religious kings, like that. Now chapter 3, actually. Yeah, the son of Krishashva was Somadatta. I'm just going over that again. We didn't discuss it. So Vishala had, we came to his son is Dhumraksha. Dhumraksha's son is Samyama. And Samyama's two sons are Devaja and Krishashva. So this Krishashva's son is Somadatta. What is Somadatta's accomplishment? He performed Ashwamedha sacrifices and satisfied Lord Vishnu. Somadatta. And by this he achieved the most exalted post of residence on a planet where great mystic yogis go. That means like Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, like that. He got residence on one of those planets. This is who? Somadatta. His son is Sumati, whose son is Janamejaya. all these kings, this is not Janamejaya, the son of Parikshit Maharaj. Okay, this is another Janamejaya, is the son of Sumati. All these kings appearing in the dynasty of Vishala properly maintained the celebrated position of King Trinabindu. King Trinabindu was the emperor of the whole earth, yes, and all his descendants, they all properly maintained that position. So they were also as qualified like him. So chapter 3, very nice. The marriage of Sukanya and Chavana Muni. This chapter describes the dynasty of Sharyati, another son of Manu. Okay, so how many sons did we discuss so far again? We didn't discuss Ikshvaku. Okay, we just started with Prishadra, then with Kavi, Drishta, then Drishta. After that, who's next? Who's after Drishta? Karusha. We discussed Karusha, then Drishta, Narishyanta, and Dishta. We discussed 6 so far. So there's of course Ikshvaku and 3 more are there. So one of them is Sharyati. Okay. So this chapter describes the dynasty of Sharyati, another son of Manu, and also tells about Sukanya and Revati. Devagya Sharyati gave instructions about what to do in the ritualistic ceremony observed on the second day of the Yagya of the Angirasas. Okay, technical. So he gave instructions about what to do in the ritualistic ceremony observed on the second day of the Yagya of the Angirasas. One day, Sharyati, along with his daughter known as Sukanya, went to the ashram of Chavana Muni. There, Sukanya saw 2 glowing substances within a hole of earthworms, and by chance, she pierced those 2 glowing substances. As soon as she did this, blood began to ooze from that hole. Consequently, King Sharyati and his companions suffered from constipation and inability to pass urine. When the king asked why circumstances had suddenly changed, he found that Sukanya was the cause of this misfortune. Then they all offered prayers to Chavana Muni just to satisfy him according to his own desire, and Devayagya Sharyati offered his daughter to Chavana Muni, who was a very old man. When the heavenly physicians, the Ashwini Kumara brothers, once visited Chavana Muni, the Muni requested them to give him back his youth. These 2 physicians took Chavana Muni to a particular lake in which they bathed and regained full youth. After this, Sukanya could not distinguish her husband. She then surrendered unto the Ashwini Kumaras, who very satisfied with her chastity, and who therefore introduced her again to her husband. Chavana Muni then engaged King Sharyati in performing the Soma Yagya and gave the Ashwini Kumaras the privilege to drink Somarasa. So that's also a story why Ashwini Kumaras originally didn't get. So the king of heaven, Lord Indra, became very angry at this, but he could do no harm to Sharyati. Henceforward, the Ashwini Kumara physicians were able to share in the Somarasa. Sharyati later had 3 sons named Uttana Barhi, Anartha, and Bhurishena. Anartha had 1 son whose name was Revata. Revata had 100 sons, of whom the eldest was Kakudmi. Kakudmi was advised by Lord Brahma to offer his beautiful daughter Revati to Baladev, who belongs to the Vishnu Tattva category. After doing this, Kakudmi retired from family life and entered the forest of Badrikashram to execute austerities and penances. Okay, now text 1. Swarnangi Mataji. Sri Shuka Uvacha Sharyatirmanavo Raja Brahmishtaha Sambabhuvaha Brahmishtaha Sambabhuvaha Yova Angirasam Satre Dvitiyam Ahar Uchivan. Suvarnangi Shama Mataji.
Yes. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, O king, Saryati, another son of Manu, was a ruler completely aware of Vedic knowledge. He gave instructions about functions for the second day of the yajna to be performed by the descendants of Angira.
Yeah. So Rajas, kings, they do yagyas. That's their duty, because yagya is karma. So, karma. So karma means it's their dharma. They do that. And by that yagya, they get piety. And who does? So they are the ones who are funding it, and they are the ones who are doing it, but they need a priest to do. So they engage the priest to do the yagya. So here, Angirasas means descendants from Angira Rishi. So he gave instructions to them. King Sharyati. Who is King Sharyati? Sharyati is one of the 10 sons of Vaivasvata Manu. He was a ruler who was completely aware of Vedic knowledge, and then he gave instructions about how to do the yagya, especially on the second day of the yagya, what should be done. And he is instructing the descendants of Angirasas how to carry out that yagya. Sukanya nama tasyasit kanya kamala lochana taya sardham vanagato yagamachyavanashramam. Narsimha Leela Chaitanya Prabhu is there? No? He's not here. He's not there. Okay. So next, Achyut Priya Mataji.
Yes. Saryati and a beautiful lotus-eyed daughter named Sukanya, with whom he went to the forest to see the ashrama of Chavana Muni. Thank you.
So Vaivasvata Muni's son is Sharyati. Sharyati's daughter is Sukanya. Just to keep things in perspective, right? So she is the daughter of Sharyati. So, and she was a very beautiful lotus-eyed daughter. And she went with her father once to the forest to see the ashram of Chavana Muni. They visited Chavana Muni's ashram. And then we'll also read about Chavana Muni later on. Okay, Saujanya Mataji, I didn't see you can read. Sa sakhibihi parivrita vichinvantyangripan vane valmikarandhre dadrishe khadyote iva jyotishi.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dhanvatara Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
While that Sukanya, surrounded by her friends, was collecting various types of fruits from the trees in the forest, she saw within the hole of an earthworm two things glowing like luminaries.
Yes. So they were in the forest in the vicinity of the ashram of Chavana Muni. And, she's a young girl. And, she went into this forest. She saw these beautiful, different types of fruits that you find only in the forest. And she started collecting them. And while going around, and she was with her friends, she's a princess, so she'll have, maids, friends. So she was with them. And then she saw an earthworm hole in the ground. And in that hole, she saw two shining, something glowing inside that hole. Te daiva chodita bala jyotishi kantakena vai avidhyan mugdha bhavena susravasriktato bahihi. Yeah, Achinta Dev Prabhu. Or Arunita or Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
As if induced by providence, the girl
Ignorantly
pierced those two glowworms with the thorn, and when they were pierced, blood began to ooze out.
I mean, sometimes things happen and you cannot, why they happened, why you did it, you cannot tell. Out of curiosity or whatever, out of providence, it is said, as if driven by providence, she had to do that. So she saw something is glowing inside the hole of the ground. So she took a thorn, trying to figure out what it is, right? Is it a gem or a jewel or something? So she took two thorns because it is a small hole, earthworm hole. So she took something thin, sharp, maybe like a thorn, and she tried to, she was trying to do something that maybe bring them out or something or check what it was. But when she pricked those two glowing things, what happened? It started bleeding. Blood was oozing out of those two glowing things in the hole. Shakrin-mutra nirodho bhut sainikanam cha tatkshanat rajarshistam upalakshya purushan vismito bravit. Mataji and Prabhuji. Aditi Lata Mataji and Achinta Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Thereupon, all the soldiers of Saryati were immediately obstructed from passing urine and stool. Upon piercing this, Saryati spoke to his associates in surprise.
Yeah, so the girls were doing their thing here, and they were accompanied by soldiers, ministers, the king. They noticed that all the soldiers and everyone, all of a sudden, after she pricked, right, they couldn't pass urine or stool. Like, everything stopped. They could feel like, you can say, like, there are different airs, different types of airs, 10 types of airs in the body. Each air is responsible for a particular function. There is one air, the 10 pranas we say, right? There is one air is responsible for your blinking the eyes. Like that, there's also one air which is responsible for sending out unwanted things from the body, passing out urine or stool. So that air stopped, or they couldn't do anything. So they could feel, and this was a great danger. So what exactly happened was that Rishi Chavanamuni was sitting in meditation there underground in that form, and those two glowing things were actually his eyes. She didn't know, Sukanya didn't know that, so she went and she pricked the eyes, and the eyes started bleeding and he became blind. And because of this, because he was offended in this way, immediate reaction was all the king's soldiers, his ministers, they all immediately got this reaction. That air in the body stopped. They couldn't pass urine or stool anymore. And the king was surprised. Why this is happening? What happened? Like that. Apyabhadram na yushmabhir bhargavasya vicheshtitam vyaktam kenapi nastasya kritam ashrama dushanam. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation. How strange is it that one of us has attempted to do something wrong to Shavana Muni, the son of Bhrigu. It suddenly appears that someone amongst us has polluted his ashram. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, so the king didn't know exactly what happened, but from the reaction, not just for one person, but everyone collectively is facing a grave problem. Immediately he understood. We are in the ashram of Chavan Muni, who is the son of Bhrigu Muni. And Bhrigu Muni, he's the one who went to Vaikuntha, to Lord Shiva and Brahmaji to test who is the best, Bhrigu Muni. So that Bhrigu Muni's son is Chavana Muni. And coming to his ashram, we did something wrong. We wronged him in some way. We don't know who did it, but one of us has attempted to offend him in some way. We did some mistake here. We have polluted this ashram. As a result, we are suffering this reaction. He could figure out. Sukanya praha pitaram bhita kinchit kritam maya dve jyotishi ajanantya nirbhinne kantakena vai. So next is Inya and Bar not here, right? So Krishna, Shri Shisha, Madhava, Rasapriya. Can't hear you.
Being very much afraid, the girl Sukanya said to her father, I have done something wrong, for I have ignorantly pierced these two luminous substances with a thorn.
Even Sukanya didn't know what it was. Even at this point, she didn't realize that she actually pierced the eyes of Chavanamuni. But she could see that there's some problem and somebody did something wrong, and she was feeling guilty. When she saw blood coming out of that, she understood something happened. So then, very fearful, right? She became the cause of this problem. So she's very fearful, and she went to her father, a small girl. She went to her father and said, I have done something wrong. I have ignorantly pierced these two shining objects here with a thorn. दुहितुस्तद्वचः श्रुत्वा शर्यातिर्जातसाधवः साध्वसः मुनिं प्रसादयामास वल्मीकान्तर्हितं शनैः. Madhava.
After hearing the statement by his daughter, King Saryati was very much afraid. In various ways he tried to appease Savanamuni, for it was he who sat within the whole of the earthworm.
Yeah. So when King Sharyati heard what Sukanya said, he understood exactly what happened. And even more, he was very fearful. He's such a powerful sadhu, you know, and it was that that Muni, Chavana Muni, who was sitting in that uh, earthworm hole, doing his meditation, sitting there. And his daughter pierced his eyes. So what kind of curse this Chavan Muni is going to, uh, announce? He was afraid, very much afraid, the king. So he wants to pacify this Chavan Muni. After hearing this statement by his daughter, King Sharyati was very much afraid. In various ways, he tried to appease Chavan Muni, right? Trying to pacify him in so many different ways. Then तद अभिप्रायमाज्ञाय प्रादाद्दुहितरं मुनेः कृच्छ्रान्मुक्तस्तमामन्त्र्य पुरं प्रायात् समाहितः. Rasapriya.
King Saryati, being very contemplative and thus understanding Muni's purpose, gave his daughter anxiety to his sins. Thus, released from danger but great difficulty, he took permission from Muni and returned home.
So, did anyone not read yet today? Everyone has read, right? I'll just read the purport then. The king, after hearing the statement of his daughter, certainly told the great sage Chavanamuni everything about how his daughter had ignorantly committed such an offense. The Muni, however, inquired from the king whether the daughter was married. Okay, so this Chavanamuni was very old actually. He was very, very old, like a great grandfather or something. He was an old rishi sitting there and performing tapasya. So when Sukanya was a young girl. So King Sharyati went to Chavanamuni and he tried to pacify him in so many different ways, begging for forgiveness. My daughter, please forgive her. She's a young girl. She doesn't have the intelligence and unknowingly she just pierced your eyes. Please forgive, like that. He was trying to pacify. And then what did Chavanamuni say when he was saying it was my daughter who did it? He said, "Is your daughter married?" So when he said, "Is your daughter married?" King Sharyati could understand what is the intention of Chavanamuni. He wanted her. So without saying anything, he gave his daughter to Chavanamuni, got her married to Chavanamuni, and very quickly he left from that place with all his ministers and soldiers so that the sage does not curse. That's what happened. So King Sharyati, being very contemplative, he was considering and understanding Chavanmuni's purpose, gave his daughter in charity to the sage. He gave in charity. Charity means kanyadanam, in marriage. Thus, released from danger with great difficulty, right? Without getting cursed, he's able to get away. He took permission from Chavanmuni and returned home. Like that. Yeah. So the Muni inquired from the king whether the daughter was married. In this way, the king, understanding the purpose of the great sage Chavanmuni, tad abhiprayam agyaya, understood what is his abhipraya, what is his intention. Immediately gave the Muni his daughter in charity and escaped the danger of being cursed. Thus, with the permission of the great sage, the king returned home. So we'll stop there. We'll continue. What happened to Sukanya? Actually, Sukanya, the story of Sukanya in Bhagavatam is quoted for a pativrata stri. So when we have marriage counseling in ISKCON, they always tell you should read Sukanya's story because she's a great example of a chaste woman. So, and also the purports of Srila Prabhupada in this regard are very, very useful and helpful, especially for ladies. Of course, we read even in the 7th canto, the last chapter, where Narad Muni is talking about the duties of women. So that is also, so you get you hear what Shastra is telling us, what is expected of the spirit souls in a woman's body. And then again, here Sukanya's story also, Srila Prabhupada gives many tips, right? In the purports, he will give tips of how a woman should deal and how she can actually live happily, like that. So we will continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam on Monday. And if there are any changes, I will let you know. But on Monday, we will start again. So actually, I'll just let you know. So the following week, so this coming Monday, after that, the following week, we won't have classes. I'm actually going to India. So it will take me some time to, arrange the internet and everything there and start the classes again. It may take a few days, maybe 1 week. I'm not sure. I'll keep in touch. But also next week, I'm still thinking, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking maybe I may need that time to, pack and get ready. I'll let you know. Okay. If I cancel, then next week and the following week, we may not have classes. But I will let you know. Okay. So now let's read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I bookmarked this. I think I did. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18. Please repeat. Sarvaguhyatmam sarvaguhyatamam bhuyah Shrinu me paramam vachah Ishtosi me dridham iti Tato vakshyami te hitam. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. Krishna said this at other places also. Why Krishna is speaking only to Arjun? Because you are my friend, you will be able to understand this knowledge. Because you are my devotee, like that Krishna says. So here also Krishna is saying, now I'm giving you the most confidential knowledge, right? The most confidential knowledge. You hear it from me because you're going to benefit from this. And why I am speaking only to you? Because you're very dear to me. You are my dear friend. Okay, what is that? Purport. The Lord has given Arjun knowledge. So yesterday we saw confidential knowledge means knowing that I'm not this Brahman realization. And more confidential is Paramatma realization. Now the most confidential is Bhagavan, right? Surrendering to Bhagavan. Surrendering to Paramatma is more confidential, but Bhagavan will be most confidential. The Lord has given Arjun knowledge that is confidential, knowledge of Brahman, and still more confidential, knowledge of the super soul within everyone's heart. And now he is giving the most confidential part of knowledge, just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of the 9th chapter, he has said, Man manaha, just always think of me. That's what we memorized recently, remember? Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyati yuktvaivam atmanam mad parayana. At the end, 934. Just always think of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. That is the essence. Manmana bhava mad bhakto is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So that same instruction comes again. Manmana bhava mad bhakto. Again Krishna is telling. Why? Because this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Whatever he spoke at the end of 9th chapter, now he's going to say again. Simply to emphasize that this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. This essence is not understood by a common man. Like we said, Name viduhu suragana, right? Prabhavam na maharshayaha. So nobody can know, not even great demigods or great sages can know about the Lord. And this knowledge, this the most confidential knowledge, right? Nobody can know. Even that is confidential, very confident, most confidential, because that is the opulences of the Supreme Lord. What is his origin? What are his opulences? Nobody can know. It's a secret. So this essence is not understood by a common man, but by one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. Because Krishna, when someone becomes dear, Krishna reveals it to that person. That's how he will know. This is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. Even at the end of the 15th chapter, now we are reciting 15th chapter every day because of Purushottam Adhik Mas. So the last verse there also Krishna says, this is the most secret, most confidential of all the Vedic literature. What is that most confidential? That Paramatma, he is the source of that Paramatma. Right? That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the most confidential knowledge. And by surrendering to Krishna, then you get all perfection. This is the most confidential knowledge. So those of us who got this knowledge, we are very, very fortunate. And how we got it? By the mercy of devotees. So this is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is the most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjun, but by all living entities. So now we are coming to the end of Bhagavad Gita. These two, the last verses that we are going to read now, 65 and 66. This is the most confidential, and after this Krishna does not give any more instructions. This is the final instruction. This is the ultimate instruction, and it is the most confidential instruction which everyone does not get, right? The common people, they don't understand it. But Srila Prabhupada, as a devotee of the Lord, is giving it to everyone. So he's saying this instruction is given. Krishna gave it to Arjun because Arjun is his friend, but this instruction is not only for Arjun, it is for all living entities. Krishna gave it to Arjun, but Krishna's devotees and Arjun's descendants, they are giving it to all of us. This one and the next one. That's the ultimate. That's the conclusion of all Shastra, actually. Conclusion means what is the essence? All so many Vedas, Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the essence of all that? The conclusion of Shastra is what? Surrender to Krishna. Think of Krishna all the time. Become his devotee. Bow down before him. Worship him. This is the conclusion, the final instruction. When we get faith in this conclusion of scripture, full faith, then what is the result? We will surrender to Krishna. When we get faith in this instruction, it will translate into Shuddha Bhakti. We will 24/7 will be doing only Bhakti. So this is the conclusion that we will read in the next 2 days. So if we do classes, then Monday and Tuesday we will do. Okay. So now let's read Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita also. Bookmarked it already. I think I did. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. So Srila Prabhupada had this, he arranged for a Janmashtami festival. He organized a Janmashtami festival at Radha Damodar temple. He invited the governor of Uttar Pradesh, like all the big dignitaries. And then what did he do? He sang bhajans of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Shad Goswami Ashtakam. This is Janmashtami, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu is, otherwise we don't have access to Krishna. We don't have access to Krishna if it is not for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his line. We don't have. So that's why on Janmashtami, Srila Prabhupada is actually glorifying all our acharyas coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The day after Janmashtami was Bhaktivedanta Swami's 69th birthday. Okay, 69th birthday. It's the next year Srila Prabhupada was on the Jaladuta, 70th birthday. So now the second volume is complete and he got the funds for the third volume. The third volume of first canto is in the making. The day after Janmashtami was Bhaktivedanta Swami's 69th birthday. A few days later, Vishwanath Das requested Swami Maharaj to visit him at his mansion in Lucknow. It was a special occasion, and the governor had invited several sadhus and planned a kirtan party. He had invited a professional musical group who toured India performing kirtans and giving recitals. One of the musicians, young Sisir Kumar Bhattacharya, was very impressed with Bhaktivedanta Swami. Sisir Bhattacharya. We were invited to perform kirtan in the governor's house in Lucknow. We had about 7 or 8 in our group. This was the governor's house, a big home, and I was sitting on a dais. I saw the governor, Vishwanath Das, and beside him was a sadhu who was old but I thought was really strong. When I saw the governor sitting there, I came down from the dais and bowed down. Then I asked which subject he wanted to listen to. He said, "Let's have something about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Then I said, "I'm very glad you selected this." About 1/2 hour we spent on Mahaprabhu's Kirtan, and then we had our dinner in the big banquet hall on all silver plates with the governor's symbols on each of them. We sat together, and I was sitting side by side with the same sadhu, and he introduced himself as Bhaktivedanta Swami. We discussed, and then the Swami presented me with a book, Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhaktivedanta Swami said, "I am interested to propagate Krishna Nam and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Western countries. I am trying to get some way to find some ticket. If I get, I will go, and I will propagate Mahaprabhu's teachings." And he uttered this verse from Mahaprabhu. "Prithivite ache jato nagaradi gram, sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam." But I did not think that he would actually be able to do it because he was very simple and poor. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, okay, that Prithivite Ache translation is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had predicted, "One day my name will be known in every town and village in the world." I feel like just reading it, but we'll stop. Time is not permitting. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness and a wonderful weekend in Krishna consciousness. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Mataji, I
Hare
dreamt
Mataji,
that
Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Yes, Aditi Lata Mataji.
Yesterday night I dreamt that you are not going. You changed your mind. For 1 month you are going. But
Oh,
let's see if the dream is coming true or not.
let's see. I'm open to whatever Krishna arranges.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.